Hey guys, good morning. Let me get around here. Whoa. Okay. Got a lot to go over real quick. Talk about. Um, so yesterday morning, I'm sorry. Yesterday, last night or evening, um, came out from. I saw it first with Bob Pockers. Said the FBI investigation was over, and that they found that the noose um, inside Bubba Wallace's pit stall was actually not directed towards anybody. They said that no charges will be pressed. They said that it was attached to a garage door to pull it down because there's manual doors, and they concluded their investigation. 15 agents were involved. It was stall number 4. They also said the news had been there since last year. I saw some other pictures and sources, though, saying that it had been there since as early as 2016. So that was what the FBI came out with. So investigation's over. So I'm just going to cut right into it initially. This is how I feel about it. So first things first, right? I'm not really bashing Bubba. I don't think that Darrell Wallace, Bubba Wallace, did this maliciously or intentionally to really get fame or stardom. I really don't think he did. I'm not placing blame on him, but I will come back to him later, though. I will tell you right now what I'm extremely, extremely pissed off about. And I'm this whole time I've been fine with NASCAR's way they went about trying to, help the social inequality and try to weed out some of the what they feel is racist NASCAR fans and make it feel like a more welcoming place, etc., etc. I personally, just my personal thoughts. They wanted to get rid of Confederate flag. Okay, I get that. I mean, unfortunately, that was something that groups like the KKK and all them used for a very long time. That has put a bad stigma on that flag. My buddy's a Civil War reenactor, and he'll tell you something different. But I get it. The flag is something that flag has throughout the years meant that, so they want to get rid of it. Okay, gotcha. Cool. No deal. Black Lives Matter. Cool. Good deal. Awesome. I get it. Totally get it. The response that NASCAR made about the possible hate crime that was going to occur from this noose in the garage stall, the response that everyone took, awesome. Loved it. Loved it. But on the other side of that, I am absolutely 100% disgusted with NASCAR right now. And I think that they are a freaking laughingstock. They should be ashamed of themselves. And I'll tell you why. Because now I want everyone to step back from this. Let's just step back. You have something that is attached to a garage door, which is used to pull down the door, right? And I get it. The way it worked was the haulers got in there. I believe it was Saturday night. Sunday morning, opened up the garage stall, and this and that. People were busy. No one noticed. That's fine. Had a rain delay. Apparently, someone noticed during the rain delay. And then once it rained again, Then the race was over. So there was a huge rain delay for like 2 hours. So I get it, right? Someone finally had time to take a breather and see it. And someone on Bubba Wallace's team reported it to NASCAR. Bubba Wallace never saw the noose. I get that. By the way, it wasn't even a noose. It was like an upside down slip line knot. It's something I've seen tied on boats a lot. It's not a noose. Like, I get that it's kind of a noose style knot, but it's not like a noose. It's like a noose style knot, but it's not a noose. There's a difference. It's not like, I think we all thought that we were going to see the stereotypical big, thick, braided. You know what I mean? That's not what we saw, right? So first of all, that needs to be addressed because that's a fact. It was not the old school type of what a lot of people thought were going to be laying there. It was not that at all. It was a tied up slip line knot, an upside down knot was what it was. If you would have had a noose tied to that garage pull, when you pulled it down, it would have basically choked off your wrist or your hand. So it's not a noose. Anyways, that being said, yeah, it is extremely frustrating because, like I said, stepping back, they got there to the garage. Someone reported to NASCAR that was in Bubba Wallace's team. They reported to NASCAR. Now, if I'm NASCAR, and if I'm sure the president heard this, I would have said, "Whoa, hold on, hold the phone. I need to talk to those individuals that saw that. We need to make damn sure that we know what this is before we go blasting this out to the media and everything else and yada yada yada, because anyone that has half a brain would have known that the minute you blast something like that to the media, there's instantly going to be a lot of reactions. And right now in America especially, there is a lot of tension. There is just a lot of back and forth problematic type of feelings that we're having right now. There's a lot of people that already don't feel welcome at NASCAR races, that we're seeing it, this is a progressive step, and hey, we're going the right direction, we're getting our Confederate flags, and then there's, the people that were already upset about banning the flag, and I kind of see, both sides a little, I definitely see, the side that, hey, we're trying to get rid of racism and stuff, but I can see some of the other people and how they're a little frustrated and think NASCAR's getting a little too PC and this and that, and the politics, whatever. I'm just saying right now, NASCAR and the fan base, there's a lot of animosity going on, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to take gasoline and pour on the fire. That's exactly what you're going to do. I get that. If it was a noose, it needs to be, the FBI need to be involved, every lottie-dottie, everybody. I totally get that. But it just, to me, clearly shows that I don't know if NASCAR's leadership is just that incompetent. I think they are, to where they just didn't even think, well, let me talk to that crew member. I want him to tell me exactly what he saw. I want a picture of it. A picture. On Twitter, we can see basically people getting murdered for some extent. If you get to it quick enough, you can almost see someone getting murdered. People can handle that. I think people can handle seeing the real picture of the noose that was there. We had no photos, no nothing. So everyone's getting all upset at the fans too, because like people are like, oh well, that's not quite what was said and this and that. And look, we're only hearing what NASCAR's giving us and what people like Bob Parkers and stuff are giving us. So yeah, because NASCAR is giving us inaccurate and somewhat false information, that's what we have to go off of. That's why we get upset. So instead of doing that, they called the FBI in. I get that. Of course, the FBI, they're like, yeah, we need to we got to see what's going on. I mean, I've been on social media a lot, and I'm telling you right now, even like me being on the outside of it, I'm not part of the Black Lives Movement, I'll tell you that right now. But me, even on social media, seeing all the Black Lives Matter stuff and all the people that were supporting Bubba Wallace that I don't think were really ticket holders in NASCAR, but they were again a part of it, which is fine. That's fine. This is a time where that's going to happen. Even they were like, "What the hell? Like, how do you confuse that? You know what I mean? Like, so you got to think about this. Take yourself away from being a NASCAR fan. Outsider looking in, it looks like a setup. I don't think it was. I do not think it was. Like I said, I don't blame Bill Wallace, but it looks like a setup. Or it just looks like incompetence. Totally. I mean, that's the thing. Is I think a lot of us hardcore NASCAR fans, we're going to sit inside and look at our little triangle, you know? But outside looking in, they're like, what the hell? Like, what in the world, man? You know, there were people that were, you know, your hardcore whatever, you know, watching the CNN thing, and they were like, man, like, look at that guy's expression. Like, even the news anchor is like, it was a what? You know what I mean? And then, so what also gets me is I think NASCAR owes the fans an apology. I'm not saying they need to say they're sorry for the way they responded and this and that. They don't need to say they're sorry for that. But they need to say, yeah, you know, we caused an uproar, we caused a ruckus, we should handle it better. And the way of handling it better would have been to do an internal investigation, find out that this is what it is, and that's the end of it. And they could have still released it. They could have said, hey, we found something, looks like an X, Y, and Z, yada, yada, yada. We're just letting you know. Because essentially, a lot of people outside looking in were accusing NASCAR fans of still being these old school backwoods racists from Alabama. And essentially, someone could have got a hate crime. And you know what's even worse? Someone could have got charged with hate crime that didn't even do it. Because that shit happens all the time. Where it's like, innocent person gets charged for something because we got to blame somebody for it. Thank God that didn't happen and ruin someone's life, right? You know, so, and I'm not mad at Bubba, but I will say this. I don't think I saw Bubba Wallace really saying, hey, hold on, let's pump the brakes a little bit. You know, let's kind of feel the waters, be rational about this, see what's going on before we, you know, start a freaking uprising. You know what I mean? So he didn't say that. But maybe in his defense, the way NASCAR pitched it to him, and another thing, Bubba Wallace, I'm in the U.S. military. I've been in Afghanistan. I've been around rockets and mortars and everything else like that going off. It's scary. I tell it now, if I was a black person and thought someone was going to come after me for freaking noose and try to hang me, I'd be scared shitless. And in my opinion, I think NASCAR probably could have saved Bubba Wallace a little bit of anxiety and being terrified. I don't care how big of a man you say you are. If you really see a noose, and if you've watched any movies or anything like that or read some history books, you know, the way that the KKK and all those people, that's just facts, that's reality. The way they killed black people was pretty horrific, you know, and I would have been scared. So they probably could have saved Bubba Wallace some fright. If he says he wasn't scared by any of that, he's full of fucking shit. I'm sorry, man. Like, it scares me just thinking about it. And I'm a white guy. I mean, so for his own well-being, NASCAR could have got the facts straight. Bubba Wallace also said, well, during the race or social media or something like that, I can't remember where I saw it, but he said on that Monday, he said, well, they said, well, how do you feel about all the people that say that this you know might be like something other than what it is? You know, you've got the people saying it was a hoax. It wasn't a hoax. It was not that. But you had people that were kind of like me that were like, hey, where's the photographic evidence? Where's this? Where's that? Not necessarily saying we don't believe you. We're just saying, hey, some things kind of aren't adding up. And, you know, Bubba Wallace said, well, those are simple-minded people. Again, I'm not really mad at Bubba Wallace, but on the same token, come on, man. Like, so now you called all of us, quote-unquote, racist or simple-minded people, you know. Really, I'm sure when you made that comment, being simple-minded, you were thinking, Here we go, the racist again, trying to defend themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't believe that, pretty sure uh, you're just not living in reality. So that was pretty frustrating, but I'm just upset with NASCAR. Like, I just feel like, how could you mess this up? Like, this is 2020, the technology and everything we have to try to like get to the bottom of things. I mean, you could have hired a private investigation team. They have those. Like, there's so many routes you could have went. And what pisses me off even more, is people like Tony Stewart who bash NASCAR for years and years about all kinds of crap. You know, is people like him are making comments like, "Oh well, thank God it wasn't a hate crime." Yeah, and man, like maybe NASCAR could have did a little better job at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand how this is just no big deal. Like, oh man, like this is just nothing. I mean, no, people like people thought that we were still living in 1961 Southern Alabama, like nooses are alive and well and get the hanging tree ready type of thing. That's what we got brought back to. I said in my video, did I not? We basically got brought back to 1960 Wendell Scott. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a huge deal. And for people to just keep blowing it off like, oh, thank God it wasn't a hate crime, Bubba's safe. Go fuck yourself. That's all you've got to say? No. This was a massive thing. Like, this wasn't just like, oh man, no. Like, there's millions of people watching this. And they're seeing that, like, oh my gosh, like, Bubba Wallace's life is in danger. When, I mean, it might be to some extent, but not the way they portrayed it. And that's just horrible. It puts a black eye on Alabama. It puts a huge black eye on Alabama. Makes Alabama, because you know what's shitty is more people are probably aware of the initial incident than the follow-up. Fact. More people are probably way more aware of the initial incident than the follow-up. Because that's what made huge headlines. No one really cares that the investigation got concluded, that are out there trying to stir the pot. The people that want justice and facts, yeah, they care. But people that are just trying to stir the pot to get a political agenda going, they don't give a damn about the follow-up. They've already spread it all, everything they wanted to say. They've already fueled the fire. And NASCAR gave it to them. Front and center, on a platter. Here you go. So yeah, it's frustrating. But anyways, another thing I want to touch on too, real quick. Somebody flew a rebel flag over a NASCAR race. And it said defund NASCAR. Which in all honesty, I get the joke or the jab, but it doesn't make much sense because they're comparing it to defund the police. And defund the police, those are state, ran programs, yada, 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 government ran programs essentially. NASCAR's not a government ran program. So I get it, but it was a bad joke. Second of all, to fly the rebel flag in a little plane, I get it. It's messed up. It shows that there's still people out there trying to get an agenda across. But what also irritates me is, like in school, that kind of person that they just want to get a laugh at someone else's expense or whatever the case may be, or if they're picking on like a fat kid or something, and you're laughing at what they're doing to that kid, you're basically just acknowledging them and you're basically just showing them that they're validated, right? So, NASCAR posted the photo and Bob Pockrass and all these guys posted it of a plane flying over, and they're like, oh yeah, this is, and I'm like, why even show that? Like, all you're doing is validating them. And they're like, well, someone else could have posted it, and then NASCAR could have caught. Okay, let a fan post it that has 20 followers. Let someone post it. Like, and then NASCAR could have took a stance of, well, we don't like to acknowledge that type of rubbish, and those people mean nothing to us. So that's why we didn't. But you could have said that, but instead you acknowledged it, and then all that did was signify, and people got to the bottom of who did it, and it turned out to be a group, and now that group got attention, which is a predominantly racist focused group. They probably wouldn't have got the attention they got because the last time I checked, I didn't see it on CNN, I didn't see it on Fox News. All I saw was on the local NASCAR Twitter stuff. They wouldn't have got any publicity, nothing. But NASCAR wanted to make a big deal. Again, bad judgment again. You know, let sleeping dogs lie, man. You're going to have these people that want to be noticed and recognized and everything else. When you do something like this, when you say we're getting rid of your Southern heritage, you're going to have people that are going to be all butthurt and everything, of course, you know. So, I don't know. I just think NASCAR, when it comes to handling some of this race stuff, it's just, they suck at it. It's horrible. They have no judgment. As soon as they see anything, they just hit that media frenzy button as quick as possible, and it gets blown up. Anyways, I touched on the flag. Yeah, that just irritated me. I just think they should have just not even acknowledged it. I think the fact that you acknowledge it and you put it, there's groups that are watching those Twitters, they're watching that social media, and you're just encouraging them to keep it going because they know they got noticed. That's what they want. They want you to blast it on. They want that. That's what they want. They don't want to fly it and just not be known. That's not what they want. They don't want to spend money flying a flag and for no one to talk about it. That's not what they want, you know? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry I got on these tangents. Looking forward to Pocono. I really am not looking forward to NASCAR's response on things because I think it's just going to be fed scripts of bullshit. But we'll see. You know, I really hope Mike Joy and all those guys just keep their mouths shut. That's the best you can do. Just don't say anything. Don't say anything. If you're not going to say you're sorry, or we should do a better job investigating this and that, just don't say anything. Just let it go. Go back to racing. Maybe people will like that. Anyways. All right. Later, guys. Have a good day.